Today, I want to talk about a topic that stirs up a lot of emotions: gender identity, specifically the manipulation of gender in our society, and how we can understand this through the teachings of Jesus. Jesus taught us to love one another, to accept each other as we are, regardless of whether someone is homosexual, transgender, or any other identity. In Matthew 22:39, he said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." This means embracing people for who they truly are, as God made them. However, what we see today is a different issue. The problem arises when we begin to manipulate or alter these God-given identities, especially in children. We see practices like the use of puberty blockers and irreversible surgeries, such as double mastectomies, being encouraged and performed on minors. Jesus reminds us in Matthew 18:10, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." This verse highlights the sacred duty we have to honor and protect the innocence and well-being of children, ensuring they grow in the truth and love intended by God. During a campaign event on December 26, 2023, Vivek Ramaswamy, a candidate for the Republican nomination for president, addressed this issue. He spoke about two young women who had undergone double mastectomies as part of gender transition procedures. He expressed deep concern about the irreversible nature of such surgeries, and especially when performed on minors.
But kids are not the same as adults, and we have to protect our children.
Ramaswamy highlighted the need for caution, arguing that these decisions, which have life-altering consequences, should not be made lightly or encouraged for young people who might later regret them. His point was not about rejecting anyone for their identity, but about protecting the vulnerable from irreversible actions that could cause harm. Psalm 139:14, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." The Bible teaches us in Psalm 139:14 that each of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. This verse underscores the belief that our identities are sacred and should be respected. But when society imposes changes upon those identities, especially on children, we must consider whether we are honoring God's creation or manipulating it for our own agendas. Jesus is ready to accept us as we are, but he also calls us to protect the innocent and speak out against falsehoods. We must be vigilant against any movement that seeks to manipulate and harm, especially when it comes to our children. Promoting a false agenda that aims to change the minds of the innocent is not acceptable and goes against the teachings of Christ. In the end, it's not about rejecting anyone. It's about ensuring that our actions, especially those involving the most vulnerable, are guided by love, truth, and respect for God's creation. Let us remember, as Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Let us be the voice of reason and compassion in a world that desperately needs it,